plating is in there. Yeah, yeah.
And as you can see, you'll need gloves, you'll need...
That's a nasty place. Maybe we just avoid that?
Just look at it.
Yeah, just look at it.
Yeah. Well, this is for the M29.
Right.
But some of the older arms we have down here. Let me put that there.
Yeah.
Otherwise it could end up on the floor. You see, there's one of the older type arms.
There we go, yeah.
See?
How do you get that curve in there?
We get that curve in there if we use one of these as a dumper, okay? What we actually do is we have a plug that we put in the end here, okay? A brass plug.
Right.
And we have an old boiler just for boiling water. And you can get a low melt alloy that will become liquid in boiling water. So we put the ingots into this boiler, boil the water, then the metal becomes fluid and it sinks to the bottom. And then at the bottom we have a little tap. So we put a plug in here, we open the tap, we fill the tube with this low melt alloy and then hang it up and let the metal cure again. And then we put it into a bending fixture on a pin like that, and then we have a shoe and there's a bend in here that it wraps round, and as the shoe goes round the outside, just bends the tube like that to a stop. So you can come round from this handle to a stop and then take it out, put it back into the boiling water on a hook, the alloy runs out and you lift the bent tube.
Oh, I've done that at home.
Have you?
Yes. Is that silk screen on there, or how is it?
It's pad printed, you can hear it running out there now.
Oh.
So we make that out of one disc.
Oh, okay,
we turn
cool.
it, okay, we do all the holes and then we split it and then just upend it like that and machine that angled face on there and drill and tap it. And then we pad print it. Ian is running so we're printing fives. Yeah. See, there's series 512 was pad printing this morning.
I like it in the yellow. Is that new?
Well, it's gold.
Gold.
Yeah, it's
that's the gold.
Well, it's a gold colour. It's probably we call it yellow gold, but
yeah, it's very nice. And how does that process work? It's a heat process?
No, it's not.
No, it's just
see how much I know? Nothing. How does it do?
There's two of us. It's like a 2-pack ink.
Oh, I see.
And what actually happens?
Oh, I see. Air compressor thing?
Yeah, it's all based on air in that, but we got a plate that...
I'm not going to get paint on my suit, am I?
No.
Okay, good.
No, we can't afford to pay for it.
So it's engraved.
I see.
The blade comes forward, brings the ink forward, and then when it goes back, it takes the ink back and leaves just the ink in the engravement.
I see.
Then the pad will come down and pick the ink up and then place it onto the arm.
Yeah.
Ah, right.
We do that process twice for everything.
Yeah, I'm sure, yes.
And then
And it never smudges, and then it dries. It dries, and it's.
we give it a short time in the oven, just to dry off to help it cure.
Right.
And then it's ready to handle.
Very snazzy. Okay, so that's how it comes in.
Yeah.
You can see that on the side there. There's a little. That's the gate where the die cast.
Yeah.
So this is what happens if you don't do anything. Passivated. And this is the same thing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it's just going through a different.
And this has been passivated.
That's been passivated. It's painted once, and then you paint it a second time, third, fourth, fifth, sixth.
Wow.
You look at what's involved in actually making that. That comes out of a strip of material, just a plain strip, and we blank it first, and then we put it into a deep drawing tool, which draws up the sides, and it's very irregular and uneven. Then we put it in a nest like that in a milling machine, and then machine it like that. So it takes all the excess away.
Has that ever gone out of production?
No,
Never.
Never. We still produce thousands every year.
Beautiful.
And then we put them up. This is done down our other works, and then we put them in a press. Boom, chomp all that out, and then we put them on the side. They're all blanked out on a press, and then we make the pins, insert mold them into the socket, make the sleeve, swage that in there with a little collar, and then we turn that so it's an exact fit into the socket.
Yep.
When it's drawn back in by the arm socket knot.
Yep.
It's a lovely stuff. You see, if you just run your finger on there, you can feel how silky smooth that is.
Yep.
and that would be tested both sides. You see, one side is marked and the other side isn't.
Right.
So that side is deemed to be even better than the other side. I mean, you're only using it for, you know, a
Small
fraction,
amount,
a
that's
small
right,
amount
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So what was the term that was used? Flog?
No. I'll show you in a minute. Zonk.
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 That's
It
much
almost-
more
yeah,
appropriate.
That comes later.
Yeah, it sounds.
Zonking comes later.
Yeah, that's when you go back to London this evening.
Right, let me see that action. Oh, wow.
So then the bracket then is attached to the pillar,
Yeah.
and
And what is
Vertical
this? I
smoke.
always wonder what this finish is. It's so.
that's it's case hardened, it's ground, it's polished, and then it's chemically blacked. It's a chemical black. So these are coming together now with all the different pieces, the base jaws that you would have seen downstairs in the plating
Right.
shop. These are the slide bays, the control bracket, tone arm. There's some of the history, look. That's one of the very original arms, look.
And so that head shell is almost what Ortofon did the SPU from,
Yes, it
or
is,
vice
yes,
versa,
yeah.
or which came first? This came first.
I said Autofon came first, didn't it? That's the Series 3 arm that we did.
I remember that now. That was sort of like one of those things that went away.
Yeah, quickly. It was designed for a particular cartridge that went out of vogue very quickly.
Yeah.
And
Was that a knife?
Yeah, it was,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
it was.
I remember that.
That there is actually carbon fibre, and we're going back to 1970.
So you were using it before.
We were using
Yeah.
carbon fibre back in the early 70s, and we were using titanium. Now people talk about titanium today as if it's a new thing,
Right.
but we were using that 35 years ago.
Obviously, it's obviously a low mass.
Yes, it was,
So
yeah.
it was a high compliance, some high compliance cartridge.
Yeah, and it just went out of vogue or out of fashion.
Could have been a Shure, like a Shure V15
Yes, it
kind.
was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then did you have a relationship with Shure?
We
can't-
did. So we
I
did
kind
to
of
some-
remember that.
Yeah, it was really before my time, and at that time I obviously wasn't aware of this side of the business. I was
Right.
downstairs. So
I
I
see.
was working on this at the time, and then that happened. That and that
Oh.
go hand in glove.
Oh, no wonder you don't like. No wonder you don't like that
I
arm.
wouldn't even put nails in a piece of wood. And that goes back to the R type, which is what we semi-created in the M29R with this J-shaped tube,
Right.
using that head shell.
Now, is this is a modern variant of
No,
it?
no, no,
This
that's
is an
a-
original,
that's-
so it's got the knife edge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, you can see there's the saddle there. Look, you see.
Yep.
It lifts out of there. Look,
Yep.
you see. Once
Yep.
you actually apply the weights and so on.
And so people can still send these back here for repair.
Absolutely.
What year was this, you think?
Oh, God. That was one of the first tournaments.
50 something.
Yeah, because all that's machined from solid. The whole lot. There's no die casting on there. That's not die cast or anything else. That predates when we did die casting. So all of these pieces are machined from solid then.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And they hold up that nicely.
Yeah.
So what we should do is take each of these arms, put it in a turntable, put a cartridge in it, and make a recording, and then go through down the line, let people hear the progression.
Mm.
In my spare time, I'll do that.
This is where we're just running everything in now. Turntables and so on. And we run these for maybe a week, 2 weeks, 24 hours. a day.
Really?
Yeah. And we check the speed, and then we reset the speed and everything else. Because the bearings and the spindles are so
They
closely
do break
matched.
in a little bit, though.
They're so closely matched that you have to do it really.
Yep.